Hi there, I'm back with a new video. After Endgame, Marvel has been putting out flop after flop, with the exclusion of the Guardians of the Galaxy 3 and Spider-Man No Way Home, which was co-produced with Sony. Though it really doesn't count as a Marvel Studios film. With the movies, you also have to count the series that was released on Disney+, since they are tie-in with the Marvel Cinematic Universe and the Multiverse Saga. Most of these series didn't brought any new subscribers to Disney+, but made fans unsubscribe from the streaming platform, adding more failures under their belts. While their new big baddie Kang is no longer tied to the actor Jonathan Majors since he was convicted for assault and harassment, so they either have to recast the role or change the whole storyline. With this, we have to consider the production hell that many projects have been going through, like Blade, the Thunderbolts, and the Fantastic Four. Actors being offered roles and not accepting, scripts being rewritten 3 or 4 times, directors leaving projects, the list goes on and on. All this is a result of Kevin Feige being the only person controlling Marvel Entertainment, without Isaac Perlmutter keeping him in check since they got rid of him. With all this happening, you would expect some course correction would be in the works. So this is where I come to this article from The Hollywood Reporter. How Marvel is quietly retooling amid superhero fatigue. The studio's golden box office aura has been dented, but chief architect Kevin Feige isn't scrapping his years-long cinematic universe plan, just refining it. They're not going to give up, says an insider. As I expected, they're not going to do any course correction. They're sticking to their plan. As for refining the upcoming content they are releasing, it will not happen if you check out the rest of their article, which we will do now. Just over a year ago, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania was set to take Marvel Studios to the next level. A new villain was going to be introduced, setting the stage for several years worth of storytelling. And the movie itself was a giant sizing of a franchise that was previously modest in scope. Instead, the Peyton Reed directed movie heralded a year's worth of missteps, box office blunders, and PR nightmares. It was all uncharted territory for Marvel, which had steadily been generating box office gold for 15 years. This part shows us how out of touch Marvel was with what the fans wanted. The movie was bound to fail because fans were checking out of Marvel after Phase 4. While the audience gave it a chance in the first week of its release, once the word of mouth came out that the movie was a stinker, they saw one of the biggest drop-offs in the second week. Now, if they are counting Phase 4 as box office gold, then 15 years is right, but actually their golden years are 11. From Iron Man to Endgame, as I said earlier on this video. As the article goes on, he's talking about the upcoming content that has got some positive buzz, like Deadpool and Wolverine, X-Men 97, and the Fantastic Four, counting them as hits. But they haven't released this content yet, and critics haven't reviewed it. So how can we consider these things as hits, unless he has some sort of time machine? These public-facing moves came as the studio boss Kevin Feige recalibrates the creative direction behind the scenes. Wasn't he behind the scenes in Ant-Man, Echo, She-Hulk, and so on? Is this person able to refine content Marvel is pushing when he was the mastermind behind Phase 4 and Phase 5? Has Disney appointed someone to keep him in check like they did with Isaac Perlmutter in the past? When they had the 11 golden years of Marvel, I bet they knew what was going on, but was hoping the audience could conform in liking whatever they released. But after for 5 years projects flopping, the straw that broke the camel's back was the Marvels, so they had to convince the fans that they were going to do something about it. So are they going to acknowledge their mistakes that they have done in Phase 4 and 5? Have they learned from those mistakes? And are they ready to make content that the audience wants to see? If we see the rest of the article, we'll understand that they're not gonna change anything, and they're gonna continue the plan that they had already drawn out. They are keeping all of the TV series and movies they had already planned, so where is this supposed refinement or retooling that they are trying to convince us that they're doing? If they wanted to do a retooling, they should have started by axing projects like Agatha All Along, The Thunderbolts, Captain America New World Order, and Ironheart, and focus on releasing a great Fantastic Four movie and the X-Men, which would be their new pillars to make Marvel viable again. But this consists them to go into filming with a finalized script without having the fear of reshooting the whole movie again, which will balloon the production costs. And this was the norm for every Marvel production after Phase 4. Have they learned from this tactic that is not viable? The studio also quietly hired Eric Pearson to polish the script for Fantastic Four, which will shoot this summer in London. Pearson is a company stalwart who worked on Thor Ragnarok and Black Widow and has a reputation for taking projects over the finish line. The stakes for that movie are high, as the studio is still searching for characters and actors who can carry the universe forward after the exits of Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans. As we can see, they haven't changed the way they're doing their productions. They are still winging it and hoping for some sort of miracle to happen to make the Fantastic Four a good movie. If they wanted to retool the MCU, they should have changed all of the things that made this mess, removing the creatives that were on those previous failures while some of them are on the new ones as well, grab all the projects that are from these people, bring talent that have ideas close to the golden years of Marvel so we can get some quality content again. But before all that, put a committee or a person that will be above Kevin Feige so they can have an oversee on what he's doing. So what do you think they should do to bring the MCU to its former glory? Write it down in the comments section below. And don't forget to leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you and have a good one.